evening, everybody, and welcome here tonight as we are running the BMW's 235i's around Brands Hatch Indy, and I'm looking forward to this one. This one is going to be really good. It's a very, very short circuit, of course. The Indy circuit taking about 50 seconds for these cars to get around. And currently in server, we have 28 of these machines getting ready to go out onto the track. So this is going to be close. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. And currently, looking at our lap times in qualifying, it's already close. A 50.764 from Christoph Muller is only just beating Craig Patterson with a 50.828. But even closer between Muller and Patterson is Patterson and Sousa, because look at that, just 0.003 of a second with Sousa being on 50.831. Magnus Sternberg goes fastest, takes a pole at the moment, and that is 0.07 of a second faster than Mueller. Vitor Sousa running fastest in the first sector, and another new lap time to go to the top is Vitor Sousa. So easy to improve here. I think it's going to be extremely close, and you see at the moment top 13 all separated by just 1 second. It's extremely close between our grid at the moment as we are looking at Reggie Blaine Sr. currently 21st in session. Here's a driver who just likes to sit down at the rear of the circuit and sort of just gently find his way through. I think that that's a way to put how Reggie Blaine Sr. drives as we are continuing around in the session. As I just want to point out now, if you want to get involved, be sure to head over to racefarm.com and become a premium member today. It's very, very cheap for the entire year, so it's worth it. Also, be sure to go and check out all our social media sites, our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. A couple of days ago, Twitter was taken over and it's become a little bit more active with the user base, so be sure to get involved there, contact us and via the tweets, and we will be sure to reply to you. And also go and check out Instagram, which was taken over yesterday evening in fact, and that'll be coming some more photos to do with racing, sim racing and motorsport in general. So it'll be a lot of fun if you go join those, like those photos, like those tweets, and get interactive on our social media sites. 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session, 5 minutes into it. We have 2 races tonight then, 2 20-minute races. In fact, that'll be separated by a 10-minute qualifying just before race number 2, where the order will be sorted out once more. Good evening, everyone watching tonight. I hope you are doing good, because I certainly am. I've got a lovely weekend ahead of me. I hope you've all got some good things going on this weekend. Patrick Fournier currently on an improved lap time, and he will go and put it onto pole position. Goes Patrick Fournier. So a really nice lap. We're looking at Peter Backus now. He's coming to complete a lap currently on a personal best. Is he going to be able to improve too much? Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. In fact, he is slightly slower in that final sector and does not improve a lap. But look how close it is at the moment between Fournier and this guy here, Vitor Sousa, who's just put in the overall best in the first sector. It's 0.014 seconds. Just very slightly slower in the middle sector, but coming out of clearways now into Clark Curve. Will Vitor Sousa be able to improve? It was a little bit of a wobble through clearways. Now into Brabham Straight, which is obviously the start-finish line, and across the line. And it's not going to be enough. 3/10 down, in fact, almost 4/10 down. So Sousa not looking too fast on that lap going through turn number 1. Patrick Fournier already up on his first sector overall best. In fact, he's up 1.5 seconds in that first sector. See what we'll do in the second. Again, he is up 1.5 seconds at the moment. Improves by 0.005 of a second in that middle sector. Coming out of Clark Curve now up onto Brabham Straight. Will Fournier be able to improve his lap and go even further into pole position? He does not, unfortunately. 1.5 tenths down, so he loses 3/10 in that final sector. Simon Stobart improves on his lap and puts it into 21st. That is a new name for me, actually. That is a very new name for me, Simon Stobart there. Same with Quintus Giuseppe in 13th position. Also a very new name for me tonight. We're looking at Craig Patterson once more. Well, actually, the first time we're looking at him in the session. Obviously, Craig Patterson, a very big driver on AMS. He recently moved to Costa RaceRoom and he's already made quite an impact. The last race that we saw him was at that Zandvoort race. He was moving up the order, but unfortunately an incident took him out. Magnus Sternberg puts it onto pole. Very, very close to Fournier's lap time, but he puts in a 50.542, which is good enough to beat Fournier by 1800ths of a second. Fulier currently on an improved lap time, and he moves up that one position up to 24th past Norman Bruce. As we're now looking at Quintus Giuseppe. One of those new names, obviously, for me. He just moves up into 11th position now. A nice improvement for the American driver. The only American driver in tonight's session. We do have a Canadian, obviously, Fournier. So it looks like we have two drivers from that side of the ocean joining us. I believe everyone else joining us from the Europe region. Matthew Paparello running around in 21st. I've noticed that the British drivers like to make some gangs, as we've got Patterson, Blaine and Backus in 4th, 5th and 6th. And down at the bottom we've got all the rest of the British drivers hanging out together. Matthew Paparello looking to improve from his 23rd position though, and he moves up to 20th to join the rest of his group there, joining Garland, Fenwick and also Kenwood. And he leaves behind Simon Stobber, who sits in 24th. This is Patrick Fournier, fastest overall in the first sector. Personal best in the second. What can he do coming up along Brabham Straight up to the start-finish line? Is it going to be an improvement? It is not. Very close to it, but not quite. We're now looking at Tuomas Lankinen. Again, another big AMS driver. Recently made the move across onto RaceRoom. He did it slightly before Craig Patterson, but he's again also a driver that's immediately made an impact. Not at the top of the field, but in the midfield section. He just puts the lap time in of a 50.906, and that places him onto that, into that top 10. It's really nice, actually. We have 12 drivers running in the 50s. The 50 seconds around here. 15 drivers all within a second of your pole sitter. Reggie Blaine currently going fastest overall in the first and second sector. Is it going to be an improvement across the line? I think it might be. Currently 5th in the session. Will he put it onto pole? Yes, he will. And almost 2/10 faster than Magnus Sternberg. Most drivers are still out on the track at the moment, and this is Martin Fayela sitting down in 17th position. Personal best in the first sector, not quite in the second, but if you can keep it together in the final sector, it still could be an improvement. He's 1.473 seconds off pole, so 1.8 off of pole lap time, so it won't be quite fast enough for Fayela, who continues on around the lap. Looking at Reggie Blaine, though, already an overall best once again in the first sector. Very clean through Surtees and into McLaren. 9,000ths of a second down into clearways, and he slides to the rear. He's off the track, and that'll be an invalidated lap time. A big side there as we're going to look at Magnus Sternberg on the exit of Graham Hill, coming along now through Surtees and into McLaren. 4/10 down. He's not going too fast, and a little bit of a slide. Patrick Fournier, overall best in the first sector at the moment, coming along the Cooper Straight into Surtees, into McLaren now. Overall best in second sector as well. Only 2 corners to go through clearways into Clark Curve. And now up onto Brabham Straight. This is up the straight drag up towards the line. Is the exit going to be good enough? It is. It's going to be pole, a 50.148, a pole lap time for Patrick Fournier. It places him 2/10 ahead of Reggie Blaine. His lap times just getting quicker and quicker. Tobias Rona also getting quicker at the moment. First and second is a personal best for him. He's going to come across the line, currently in 15th position. Really be able to knock it up. He's 1.4 off the pole. He's now 1.1 off the pole. Very close to Jonas Hillert, a fellow countryman just in front. We're looking here, personal best in the first sector for Hillert. But it's about 8,000ths of a second between Hillert and Rona, so it's not quite the lap, and wasn't any position gained for Rona. In through McLaren there, 7/10 down off your pole lap at the moment, and a little bit of a wobble through clearways and into Clark Curve means that Hillert's lap time is going to become null there. Looking at Tobias Rona once more, currently on a personal best again in the first and second sector into Clark Curve and up towards Brabham Straight. Is this going to be an improved lap time? 3 minutes to go in the session. that'll still be enough for about 4 or 5 laps. I think 4 laps if the driver's just coming across the line, such as Rona. That was an improvement by Rona. Moves up into P13, which moves him ahead of Giuseppe Parginas and Jonas Hillert. He's just behind Daniel Trapp, though, another fellow countryman there, and they're extremely close in lap times as well. Martin Fayela crosses the line. Currently 20th position, not quite an improvement in his lap. He only needs a small improvement to get past Steve Legallo, who sits in 19th. Looking at Tobias Rona again, yet again a fastest personal best in the first and second sector. Really wide line through McLaren. And again, through Clearways gets tight, but through Clark Curve, a very wide exit. But is that going to be better for the speed? It's going to be all about this drag straight now, all the way along Brabham Straight and across the line. It's going to be an improvement, and he is 2 thousandths of a second quicker than Daniel Trapp, and he moves himself up to 12th ahead of Trapp, who moves now down to 13th. Reggie Blaine Sr. in 27th at the moment. We're yet to see a lap time from David Sloot, our 28th and final driver. Reggie Blaine, personal best in the first and in the second sector. Coming through McLaren into Clearways. He's already doing a much better line than I would. I would have been in the barriers about 10 times this lap. Reggie Blaine Sr. coming up along Brabham Straight now and up towards the timing line with 1.5 minutes to go. Is it going to be an improvement? Yes, it is, and it knocks him up into 26th position with a 52.393. A 52.4 is currently our slowest time given by Norman Bruce, but that is not by any means slow, because it is only 2.3 seconds off of Patrick Fournier's pole lap. So the entire field separated by 2.3 seconds. It's absolutely fantastic indeed. Coming up through Clark Curve and into Brabham Straight now, up towards the timing line. This is Vitor Sousa. A personal best in the first sector, but not quite in the second or the third, and he remains in that third position slot. And now whilst the otherwise we're never going to be able to get through the qualifying results. Here are your results of qualifying. They may change whilst we're talking through them. Patrick Fournier gets a pole with a 50.148. Reggie Blaine in second with a 50.374. Vitor Sousa in third with Magnus Sternbury and Craig Patterson rounding out your top 5. We then have Malachi Backus and Peter Backus in 6th and 7th with Christoph Muller, Tuama Sanklin and Jazz Forsberg rounding out your top 10. We then had Ronnie Van Rouge, Tobias Rona and Daniel Trapp with Quintus Giuseppe rounding out your 7th row of your grid. Vangelis Parginos sits in 15th with Jonas Hillert just behind. Steve Kenwood in 17th with Martin Fayela sitting in 18th. Matthew Paparel in 19th position with Steve Legale rounding out your top 20. And then at the rear of your grid, but by no means slow because the time's extremely close to your race leaders, only 1.7 seconds off. In fact, Ross Garland, Paul Fenrick and Ovind Anderson, and actually Simon Stobbart, all of those within the 1.7 seconds off of your pole lap time. Ralph Julier, Reggie Blaine Sr. and Norman Bruce round out the bottom end of your grid. And with that, we are almost ready to go racing here today for the first of 2 races, 2 20-minute races, of course. And we are getting all this lovely glitching as we are about to get going. As we just want the session countdown just so we know how long until the race begins. As we are stuck looking at Matthew Paparel. So once he gets onto the grid, we will be able to have a little look at the grid forming up. I hope you are all doing well, and be sure to get involved by heading over to racedepartment.com and becoming a premium member today. Obviously follow us on all of our social media sites, which are becoming a lot more active for you to watch. Matthew Paparel deciding not to go out on the circuit until the very last moment, just to annoy us, so we cannot see the grid. Because we cannot see the grid until the one selected driver decides to go onto the grid, because RaceRoom. 10 seconds and Matthew Paparel's still not on the grid. This could get worrying. There he goes, finally onto the grid. We still got a car in the pit lane with 4 seconds to go. It doesn't look like he's actually going to be able to make it to the grid. And what on earth is that camera as we are about to get going? 20 minutes on the clock. The lights are up. And they are down. And we are green and we are racing here. At the start of the race, 20 minutes on the clock, heading down into turn number 1 now. It looks like it's going to be side by side with Vitor Sousa and Magnus Sternbury. Sternbury trying to get that inside as much as he can, just behind Malachi Backus. Craig Patterson running side by side. A big side from Tobias Rona in the background, and there's already a spin. A car around. That's Matthew Paparel racing the wrong way. Luckily, it's not collected anyone else. Oh, it has. It's collected a couple of others, but up front it's still very close indeed. Side by side, Vital Salsa holding the inside of Magnus Sternberg. Sternberg's onto the grass. He's going to spin back. No, he doesn't. He holds it. There's a crash in the background, but that was a very big hold from Magnus Sternberg. He loses the position to Malachi Backus, but luckily not spinning back onto the circuit on the exit of Graham Hill, because that would have collected the entire field as we finish lap number 1. Patrick Fournier leads ahead of Reggie Blaine with Vital Salsa in 3rd as we're coming along Brabham Straight here. And that's going to be Magnus Sternberg looking for the inside of Malachi Backus into Paddock Hill. Can't quite do it, and he's going to have to back off already. Tuomas Lankinen all over the rear of his teammate Tobias Rona. He's going to move to the inside here into Druids. And he's going to have that position, and he is up into no, sorry, he holds it because that was a hold from Tobias Rona actually. Tobias was on the inside. When you're running the identical liveries, it's difficult to tell sometimes. Magnus Sternberg trying to hold the position on Peter Backus, but Backus sneaks through into Surtees. There's a little bit of contact into McLaren. A big side for Peter Backus. He's going to lose a lot of time. He holds the inside into Clark Curve, but it's going to be Magnus Sternberg who's going to be sprinting along through Brabham Straight now. He's got the better exit out of Clark Curve. So it also looks like it's going to be side by side behind between Craig Patterson and Christoph Muller. Muller's going to go for the inside, and he's going to move up past Craig Patterson. Patterson down, but this is the side, a big side once more from Peter Backus, and Magnus Sternberg back up the position, but here comes Backus on the inside, can't quite do it. Sternberg's going to be able to hold it. A very good start, and that is going to be side by side. Tuomas Lankinen losing the position to Daniel Trapp as he goes wrong into Druids. He's trying to hold it on Trapp. He's got back through on the exit of Druids. He holds on to P number 11 at the moment. Daniel Trapp and P number 12 currently as they're coming along. They're going to head into Surtees. It's going to be Lankinen going to lose the position to Trapp as Trapp holds the outside into McLaren. He stays in 11th, going into Clark Curve just up ahead. Tobias Rona trying to get around the outside of Jazz Forsberg. He actually switches to the inside now. Jazz Forsberg going to try and hold on the exit of Brabham Straight onto Paddock Hill. Just behind, we've also got Tuomas Lankinen trying to get back past Daniel Trapp, who's been able to get a better exit through Clark Curve. But here comes Jazz on the outside trying to hold it on Tobias Rona. There's a little bit of contact. Tobias holds the position. Tuomas Lankinen now trying to get back up the inside of Daniel Trapp into Druids. He's been able to do that. Daniel Trapp now under attack from Quintus Giuseppe. That's would be number 12, and Giuseppe is going to not quite be able to make that move into Graham Hill as there's a car off just on the exit of Graham Hill, and that's going to be Daniel Trapp very wide indeed. He comes back onto the circuit, but Quintus Giuseppe is going to be able to get through and is up the position. Daniel Trapp down to P number 13. As there's a whole train of cars here for positions. That's going to be side by side. It's going to be Tuomas Lankinen on the inside of Jazz Forsberg. Forsberg getting the better exit though. He's going to continue to run side by side here up along Brabham Straight and now up towards Paddock Hill. He's not going to be able to do it. Tuomas Lankinen has to drop behind for now. As there's going to be side by side just up ahead. That's Craig Patterson going to look for the inside of Christoph Muller. Around the outside, sorry, of Christoph Muller into Druids. Is he going to be able to make that move? It's a very difficult move to make around the outside, but it doesn't look like it. Muller now on the overtake on Backus around the outside of Graham Hill. He's not going to be able to do it, and Craig Patterson is through on the inside of Graham Hill as they now head along Cooper Straight and up towards Surtees. This is the battle at the moment for P number 5. Peter Backus leading Patterson, leading Muller, ahead of Rona, Forsberg. There's about 5 cars mainly in this. Lankinen not too far behind. Neither is Sousa, Chat, Giuseppe, Parginos, Van Rouge. All of them in a second of the car in front. It's very close indeed in this battle. 15 minutes to go. 5 minutes down already. And into turn number 1 goes Patterson chasing down Peter Backus. He's done it because Backus has gone massively wide into Paddock Hill. And now Miller's going to get the inside into Druids. On the inside of Peter Backus, he's going to go for the later braking. Backus going to try to hold the outside line. He can't quite do it. And now here comes Tobias Rona to be able to make the move through. As Backus is down the position to P7. Tobias Rona, big slide. And that's going to be Jazz Forsberg getting involved. We're running on board at the moment with Forsberg. He's side by side with Rona going into Surtees. Now into McLaren. He's very close. Is he going to look for the inside? Into Clearways. He does indeed. And he's going to be able to get that side by side. He's going to move up the position past Tobias Rona. But now along Brabham Straight, Rona's got the better exit on the exit of Clark Curve. They're going to be very, very close. And now heading up a long Brabham straight across the timing line. Tobias Rona only just leads Jazz Forsberg, and he drops behind into Paddock Hill. A big slide from Rona just up ahead. These cars really stepping out into Paddock Hill. Now coming under braking for Druids. Extremely close indeed is Jazz Forsberg. We're going to run on board once more as we exit Druids. It's a little bit of a battle going on still ahead between, I believe that's Muller and Craig Patterson. A little bit of a slide from Backus just in front of Rona. That might give Rona the opportunity to get through into Surtees and into McLaren. Gets onto the apex. Is he going to be able to switch across? No, he isn't. And a big slide from Peter Backus. Rona goes for the inside. Nowhere to go, though. Backus slides onto the racing line. Now on the exit, we've got a perfect shot of this because we've got Tobias Rona and Peter Backus side by side just in front. And it's going to be Rona on the inside of Peter Backus into Paddock Hill. Is he going to brake later and go for that move? Yes, he is. He's going to slide the car. Peter Backus is going to go for the switchback. Heading down Paddock Hill bend. And now into Druids. Tobias Rona going for a later break on the outside. But it looks like Peter Backus is going to be able to make it on the inside and hold that position. He will. No! Because Rona's been able to stick his nose in. He's going to get that inside line into Graham Hill. The door's been shut. Too late by Peter Backus. A little bit of contact. Now Jazz Forsberg is going to easily be able to get involved here as they head along Cooper Straight into Surtees. It's going to be Jazz Forsberg on the outside of Surtees. It'll be the inside of McLaren. Can't quite keep his nose in. They now come through into clear ways. And that's going to be again a little bit of a slide from Backus. Tobias Rona's going to be able to get the run up towards Paddock Hill Bend as they're going to run side by side here. And now they're going to go they're side by side. Tobias Rona's got the inside of Backus. He's going to make the move, but is he going to be able to hold it this time? The also racing line. Peter Backus goes for the inside of Graham Hill of Druid. So once more, a big crash behind. Someone's gone off into the side barrier. Rona's having to hold the outside line. He's drifted the car. He can't quite hold it. He's onto the grass. He's down the positions. No, Tobias Rona down 3 positions. Jazz Forsberg and Vita Salsa move up the position with that. And now it's going to be Peter Backus leading Jazz Forsberg. And that is your battle for P number 7. But we've got a whole about 5 cars in there. Oh, so that's going to be Jazz Forsberg to go up the inside of Peter Backus. Very adventurous into clearways. Through Clark Curve, that's a little bit of a wobble through Peter Backus. And now onto Brabham Straight up towards the timing line. Peter Backus is in 7th. 8th position is Jazz Forsberg. They cross the line and it's side by side behind Giuseppe on the inside of Parginos. He's going to have to drop back already. He's got Ronnie Van Rouge on the rear of him as well, heading into Paddock Hill. The 3 of them extremely close in proximity at the moment. There's also a very close battle for the podium. Not as close to the battle which we've been watching, but that's Malachi Backus leading Magnus Sternbury, leading Craig Patterson, and Christoph Muller trying to get involved in the background as well. But we can see in the full background, look at these 5 cars in a single shot, and that's Ronnie Van Rouge around. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Ronnie Van Rouge around. There's so many Red Bull cars, it's very confusing. But there is a round, but this 5-car battle by nowhere near is over. Peter Backus still trying his hardest to lead Jazz Forsberg. Vita Salsa right in the dead middle of it is going to find it difficult to overtake and defend at the same time. And now coming into turn number 1 to Paddock Hill. They're all going to stay in line at the moment. And now heading up towards Druids. 11 minutes on the clock. That means we've had 9 minutes of this first race. If this is only the first race, once drivers get better in their skills, second race is only going to be closer. Tobias Rona is still trying to get back up. He's that first of the blue and white and red cars that we see. And he's leading his technical teammate, Tuomas Lankinen. Lankinen trying to get through, and we might see an overtake back there. But at the moment, we're not at the moment. We're on board with Tuomas Lankinen. As he sees in front of him, that's Tobias Rona directly in front in 10th. In 9th is Salsa. 8th is Forsberg. And 7th is Peter Backus. That's this 5-car train up from P11 towards P number 7. It's a really big, and I keep on forgetting to enable the wheel and the driver, so I do apologise for not being able to see that, and I will try to do it. That's wide from Peter Backus off of the circuit there. It's going to mean he's now under attack from Jazz Forsberg. A little bit of contact into Druids. They've all been able to keep it together. Very weird racing lines, but here comes Jazz Forsberg to go for the inside. Salsa was going to move it, but Forsberg already made that move for the inside. It's so close. It's like I'm watching a touring car race. This is fantastic. But Backus has been able to pull away very slightly. Forsberg leading Salsa just now coming into clearways. That was Lankinen trying to get up the inside of Rona. He's going to still be on the inside. Rona stuck on the outside through Clark Curve. And now onto Brabham Straight. Rona's stuck on the outside for turn number 1, but he's got a slightly faster exit. And he might be able to make that move. It looks like he's already been able to hold it over Tuomas Lankinen, who's backed off before Paddock Hill. And a very weird line into Paddock Hill is going to compromise his time. And he's dropped off already quite a lot, in fact. So that's not looking promising there for Tuomas Lankinen. Maybe just wants a little bit of space from this battle. We're still seeing this battle in P number 3. Malachi Backus just ahead of Magnus Sternberg. Craig Patterson still trying to get involved with that. Big slide from Sternberg. Jason Dowdy slides it again through McLaren into clearways. Maybe track limits being breached a little bit there by Sternberg. Now it's coming through Clark Curve and onto Brabham Straight. The four of them still very close indeed in this battle for the podium. Your race leader Patrick Fournier is really pulling away from Reggie Blaine. It's about 6.5 seconds between the two of them. Malachi Backus, who we're watching in this battle, is only about 1.5 seconds behind Reggie Blaine, who is that car we saw just coming into Druids, just exiting Druids there. So they are quite close, and if they don't battle too much, they might be able to get involved with Reggie Blaine and become a battle for P number 2. Jazz Forsberg dropping off Peter Backus in that battle for P number 7 at the moment, but Vita Sausa also dropping off the rear of Jazz Forsberg. So this chain of cars is starting to separate, but here comes Tobias Rona to the inside of Surtees. He's going to be the outside of McLaren, but he can set himself up into clearways. It looks like he's going to try and do that. A little bit of a slide, but all of them get the perfect line into clearways. Actually, Jazz Forsberg getting the compromised exit. A little bit of a wobble from Sausa, though, and here comes Tobias Rona onto Brabham Straight. Much faster exit out of clearways and out of Clark Curve. Up across the timing line, it's going to be Sausa only just ahead of Tobias Rona. Will Rona go for the move into Paddock Hill Bend? He's going to. Sausa leaves enough room. A big slide from Tobias Rona. He's going to have to drop behind at the moment. Stay behind and remain in P number 10. That means Sausa is lucky to hold on to P number 9. But now Craig Patterson on the outside of Magnus Sternberg through Graham Hill. He's been squeezed off by Sternberg. No room given at all, and that's going to allow Christoph Müller to make a move on the inside of Surtees. No, he's going to have to stay behind for now as we go on to the Indy part of the course through McLaren and into clearways. This is, oh, the big slide from Magnus Sternberg, and that's going to be Craig Patterson all over the rear. But I think Patterson had to slam on his brakes to avoid contact there, because look at this, Christoph Müller getting the better exit, and now along Brabham Straight. They're going to be side by side. Müller's got the outside line across the timing line into Paddock Hill. It looks like he's going to try to switch back if he can get the perfect racing line, and he's done exactly that, and he's going to move for the inside. No, he drops back behind Patterson. Now he moves to the inside into Druids. Patterson leaves as little room as possible, but still enough room for a car to fit. But he's going to hold on to that position for now. Christoph Müller down in 6th, but 6 goes. He goes to the inside into Graham Hill. Can't quite do it. Now onto Cooper Straight. Is he going to get a better exit out of Graham Hill? It definitely looks like he hasn't, actually. I was going to say he has. He moved to the inside, but he's moving across. Defeated me, my timing, and I thought he was going to be able to make that move. He couldn't quite. That's now coming up towards the timing line. Craig Patterson is still trying to get past Magnus Sternberg, but Sternberg is very, very close indeed to Malachi Backus. In fact, he makes a look for the inside into Paddock Hill. Backus goes slightly wide. They're going to be side by side on the exit of Paddock Hill up towards Druids. Malachi Backus is down a 4th. Sternberg's going to try and hold his line into Druids. He's been able to do that, and Backus just can't make the move back through. Magnus Sternberg up to P3, Backus down to P4. And that slowed them down a little bit, so now Patterson and Müller are right back at it again, trying to get involved. That's allowed Reggie Blaine to pull away by about 2 seconds, though. This battle that they've been having. As you can see, back marker is very much playing an effect with your race leaders, and it will be with this battle very shortly as well. Big slide from Magnus Sternberg. Malachi Backus running an outside line, sort of line through clearways and into Clark Curve, but onto Brabham Straight. He's actually lost quite a lot of time to Magnus Sternberg, and now Craig Patterson is going to go to the outside of Paddock Hill. Already dropping off, though, not going to make that move, and maybe a switchback into Paddock Hill. Again, a big slide from Magnus Sternberg, but doesn't seem to lose too much time with it. So he's showing off and being fast at the same time. Magnus Sternberg being the ultimate gentleman through the Druid's going. Again, a big side, but holds onto the position. But here goes a switchback from Malachi Bacchus to the inside of Graham Hill. Can't quite do it, as that is a defending move from Sternbury to hold that inside line. The four very close indeed. And here comes Christoph Muller to make a move past Patterson. Can't quite do it at the moment, as we're going to ride on board the rear wing of Magnus Sternbury. He runs wide. Malachi Bacchus going to be on that inside, and again a big slide and a big crash. No, Malachi Bacchus collected in by stationary cars on the circuit there. I don't know what happened, but Tobias Rona now going to try and get past Vitor Salso now. If I'm not mistaken, it was Ralph Julia and Reggie Blaine who were facing the wrong way there. I can't confirm that for you, but that was huge. Suddenly came out of nowhere. Good avoidance from Magnus Sternbury, but because Sternbury changed his line so suddenly, it just was unsighted. Completely unsighted by Malachi Bacchus. And Bacchus has now dropped all the way down to P12, but is still racing in this. He is still running strong, and will be trying to fight back at that. He is directly behind Parginos and Lankinen, who are battling for a top 10. Tobias Rona is here now at P number 9. Looking to get P8 past Vitor Salsa. Might be able to do it. With 3.5 minutes to go, it's not exactly the ideal time for Malachi Bacchus to be forced out of that podium position or battle for the podium. But race number 2 coming up very shortly. Hopefully the change of luck will mean that he'll be able to battle and maybe even achieve that podium. Malachi Bacchus, then one of our fastest RaceRoom drivers, alongside Reggie Blaine, of course, and Patrick Fournier. I haven't seen his name very often, but he is another very fast driver, beating Reggie Blaine by about 4 seconds. That just shows how fast he actually is. Parginos on the rear of Tuomas Lankinen into Graham Hill now, looking to get into P number 10. Will he be able to make that move? He moves to the inside along Cooper Straight with the inside and 30s. Will Lankinen be able to hold the outside? There's a little bit of contact. Lankinen's been able to hold it. Parginos has had to drop down a little bit, and that's allowed Malachi Bacchus to really get involved. And that's going to be Parginos on the inside. Tuomas Lankinen going to be trying to hold his irons. Again, a little bit of contact through Clark Cove. Both of them trying to get to the racing line. And I just don't think Lankinen is paying too much attention to the space around him, because he's been turning into the Parginos quite a lot. But he's going to be holding the inside line now on Malachi Bacchus. Bacchus is going to switch for the inside of Druids, though. Hopefully Lankinen will leave him enough room on the inside of Druids. Bacchus already through. Lankinen needs more than enough room. Tries to switch back on the exit. He's got the drive, but he hasn't quite got his nose in for Graham Hill. And Bacchus is going to be up to P number 11. We'll be trying to catch up to Vangelis Parginos and get into P number 10. Jazz Forsberg still on the rear of Peter Bacchus in that battle for P number 6. It's spread out from the 5 cars we were having before. We now only have the 2 cars running around at the moment, but with 1.5 minutes to go, depending on where Patrick Fournier is on circuit through Druids, we'll have 2 more laps in this race, maybe even 3. I think actually he probably could get 3 in as we look at this battle once more between Forsberg chasing down Peter Bacchus. Craig Patterson only half a second behind Magnus Sternbury, who's still sliding that car a lot. Craig Patterson's car looks on rails compared to Sternbury, who's been sliding around through every single corner. And we're going to go right on board with Craig Patterson, in fact, just to look how much Sternbury is drifting his car. It's crazy. As a little bit of a wobble from Patterson, but again, Sternbury's car just kicking out through Clark Curve. Very difficult for your car to kick out like that, but he has been able to manage it. Across the line along Bramham Straight now and into Paddock Hill Bend. And again, look how much that car kicks out. Too much from Sternbury. It's going to be the position for Patterson. And he's up into P number 3. Craig Patterson up the position. Right at the end, Magnus Sternbury showboating a little bit too much. His car drifting around, obviously. A little bit unstable, but this time it's just been too much for him to handle, and he's down the position. Jazz Forsberg still trying to get past Peter Bacchus in that battle. Malachi Bacchus actually still going to get past Vangelis Parginos for a top 10. Will he be able to achieve that after he was running in that battle for P number 3 until the unfortunate incident? Coming through though, up along Cooper Straight. He's going to look for the inside. In fact, he tucks back behind, knowing the inside of Surtees is never really an overtaking location. That's a big slide up ahead, I believe, from Tobias Rona. He's been able to hold it. Malachi Backus goes to the inside of Vangelis Parginos. Parginos gets a better exit as they come across the line. It's not yet checkered, so they've still got one more lap to battle this out. The session has come to a close, but Fournier was further across the lap than these drivers, but this is going to be an overtake for Backus on the final lap for a top 10. He's still got Tuomas Lankinen all over the rear, a little bit late on the brakes, almost collected Backus, but it loses him time and nobody else. Tuomas Lankinen still in 12th position, though David Sloop not quite close enough to be able to make that move. That was Parginos slightly off of the road, coming up along Cooper Straight. Malachi Backus, this is his last chance to get the best exit out of Clearways. Through McLaren now into Clearways and moves to the inside, moves to the racing line. There's a little bit of a tap. Now into Clark Curve and onto Brabham Straight. Who's going to get the better exit? It's going to be Vangelis Parginos. And in fact, just behind, look at this, Tuomas Lankinen trying to go. There's a big side. Oh, it's still going to be the position, though, to Vangelis Parginos. Malachi Backus crossed the line in 12th. With Tuomas Lankinen just behind in 13th. We've still got a few close battles, but nothing as close as that, to be fair. Jonas Hillock crossing the line just behind Steve Kenwood. About a 10th between them as they came across the line, but no position to be gained, along with Quintus Giuseppe as well. But what a race it was, and we're about to get race results from that, and then we'll be heading into the second qualifying session. Oh, sorry, the second qualifying session for the second race. Fournier won then. What an absolute dominant race. 3.2 seconds ahead, finished ahead of Reggie Blaine. Craig Patterson gets third in the end. Christoph Müller in fourth, and Peter Backus in fifth position. Forsberg finished in sixth with Sousa in seventh. Rona finished in eighth with Steinbury in ninth, and Parginos losing all the way down to 10th. Parginos holding on to 10th, ahead of Backus. Now I was thinking of the other driver. Tuomas Lankinen finished in 12th in the end, with Sloops in 13th, Van Rouge in 14th, with Garland, Kenwood, Hillett, Steve Legale, Giuseppe, Stover, Anderson, Paparel, Fenwick, Bruce, Chat, Bayela, and Eula rounding out your grid, with Reggie Blaine Sr. being our only retirement, and he did so with about 5 minutes to go in that race. So that's been race number 1. We still have a second race to go, but first we have a second qualifying to go. 10 minutes of qualifying followed by another 20-minute race, so don't go anywhere. We've still got half an hour to go. Now there are going to be the cameras are going to be tracking nobody at the start, because it needs to load in all of the cars, and I put it on auto spectate mode during qualifying because I can't be bothered to decide who we watch. But I am going to quickly have a breather, have a quick drink, and then I'll be joining you for the second qualifying. Only 10 minutes long this time before we head into a second 20-minute race. 5 minutes to go in qualifying then, and then we have our second 20-minute race, of the evening. Currently leading our qualifying session is Patrick Fournier with a 50.290. Reggie Blaine is in second with a 50.432. Craig Patterson currently third fastest. Thomas Lankin fourth, and Vitor Salsa, this driver right here, fifth fastest of the session. We're yet to see lap times from Jazz Forsberg, Malachi Backer, Steve Legale, Daniel Trapp, and Dave Sloots. But we have seen lap times from 23 of those 28 drivers. It's going to be just as full of grid as it was in race number 1. Only one retirement from race number 1, and that was in the final about 5-10 minutes of the race where we lost Reggie Blaine Sr. Currently looking at Craig Patterson though. Personal best in the first and second sector. He's going to come up towards the lap timing line and see if he can improve. Currently on his third position lap, a 50.551 to be on his behalf, a 50.290 to be overall, and it's not going to be an improvement, unfortunately. Reggie Blaine currently fastest in first and second sector, but he lost it slightly in the second sector. Is he going to be able to hold it in the third and final sector? Across the line he is. He's able to put a pole lap in by 15 hundredths of a second ahead of Patrick Fournier. That first race was absolutely fantastic. There was battles, so many battles, and consisted of so many drivers. Being such a short circuit, it's very difficult to pull away from one another. You'll constantly be together, and definitely with how much a few of the drivers would go on to different racing lines, specifically into that final corner, or the final sectional corners, from Surtees through McLaren, through Clearways, through Clark Curve, all the way up along Bradham Straight. The different racing lines would just prove, some would prove faster into the corner, into Surtees, into Clearways, but then on the exit of Clark Curve, they'd just be slightly slower. This corner here, though, we saw a number of cars run wide off over the apex onto that runoff turf area, and a few even ending up in the gravel, definitely at the end of last race. Craig Patterson obviously gained that position due to a driver running off into the gravel. to Barcelona, currently in a top 10 in the session at the moment. He finished 9th in race number 1. A little bit of a wobble there, and decides to give up on that lap time as he runs slightly onto the grass on the exit of Clark Curve. Looking at Norman Bruce, his personal best in the first sector. And really wide there through Clearways, but it's keeping it on circuit. Looks very, very nice indeed. Let's continue to head up towards the timing line now. And good evening for those who are only just joining us, to everyone who got involved with the conversation in race number 1. Thank you very much, and good evening to you all. Be sure to subscribe for more live streams like this. Also, the new YouTube videos will be coming out on the channel as well. It won't just be live streams, it'll also be videos. And the first of these major uploads that will become common on our day, as Craig Patterson goes fastest in the session by 9 thousandths of a second ahead of Reggie Blaine. But the first of these popular, well, these common videos that will be happening quite a lot now, went out earlier today, so be sure to go and check that out after you finish watching this live stream. 1.5 minutes to go in qualifying, and then we will be done with the session. And I've been talking to a number of people actually about how they feel about racing, and everyone just says, I don't care if I win or if I come last, it's all about the fight in between. And I always thought like that. And I have to admit, I like winning. It doesn't happen often, but it's a lot of fun. But the fights that we were having for those positions, even though they were for the low top 10 positions, they were fighting like it was for the win. It was fantastic. I was lucky enough to win my first race in about 4 months last night, so I know the feeling of winning races, but at the same time I know the feelings of just beating the 1 or 2 people you've been battling all race long, and that in itself is a great achievement. So for the battles in race number 1, those who came out on top definitely would be happy with those results. It's coming up to the end of qualifying. quickly run through your order. I'm not going to have too much time to run through your order, but Reggie Blaine on pole, only just ahead of Patrick Fournier. Vital Sasser in third. Oh, I see. We've lost Craig Patterson then. Reggie Blaine on pole, Patrick Fournier in second, Vital Sasser third, Thomas Ankelin in fourth, Magnus Stanbury fifth, Jazz Forsberg sixth, followed by Peter Backus, Christoph Miller, Jonas Hillett, Tobias Roder, a big crash in the background there. Ronnie Van Rouge, Vangelis Parginos, Quintus Giuseppe, Malachi Backus, Steve Kennerman, Martin Fraiella, Paul Fenwick, Simon Stobart, Matthew Paparel, Ross Garland, Ralph Euler, Steve Legallard, Ovind Anderson, Norman Bruce, and Reggie Blaine Sr. Let's see a lap time from Daniel Trapp and Dave Stute. Craig Patterson disconnecting and then rejoining right at the very end. He's going to be starting from the rear of your field in 26th. That may have been an accidental disconnect, maybe connection issue, or he might have decided he wanted to start from the rear of the field. Well, he will get that start from the rear of the field, whether he wanted it or not. We are about to get going into our 20-minute race. I already have a headache from talking too loud. I really apologise if you guys have got headaches too because of me, but I have actually suffered a headache from talking too loud. It's fine this weekend. I don't have to worry about talking. I am going to be away, so unfortunately I won't be any stream tomorrow or on Saturday. I'm hoping to be back in time for the stream on Sunday, but it's not for certain yet. Looking at Tobias Rainer then, so we got to wait until Toby gets on grid, and he has now got onto the grid. Tobias Rainer obviously starting from 10th position. So we're going to be waiting for everyone to get onto the track. Luckily on Brands Hatch we can see that red light on the back of the lights, the starting lights, so we can see the starting sequence. Only one light, but at least we know when the lights are up and when it turns green. Almost every car onto the circuit now, as it does obviously switch all the way back around that corner as well. Bram Straight, not very straight. Same in Cooper Straight actually. It's not exactly a straight, but the names the corner, well, the names of the straights are straights. There is the end of our starting time. Waiting for the lights to go up. There the lights are. They are red. The counting is go, and we are green. Reggie Blaine going to get away from the start, but will Patrick Fournier be able to take the lead at the very start into turn number 1? He's got the inside line, but he's not quite there. Vital Sasser not able to do anything. A big slide into turn number 1 from Magnus Stanbury. Going to lose him down a number of positions already in this race. Looks like we've got a nice clean start through turn number 1 this time. Stanbury's on the outside of Peter Backus. Backus going to go make that move as Stanbury's turned around. Hopefully the cars will be able to scatter around him. He's moved to the outside. He's collected another driver. I believe that's Malachi Backus. No, that is... actually not too sure who that is, but Stanbury luckily not taking anyone out completely of the start side by side there from Jonas Hillett behind Tobias Rainer. Well, and ours is Parginos going, and a spin from Malachi Backus, and a big collection now, and a huge collection as drivers going onto the circuit. Who was that decided to pull straight across in front of absolutely everyone? That was Ronnie Van Rouge, decided to pull across in front of literally everyone through the final corner. Not the smartest of decisions that he could have been made there. Norman Russo running on the inside of a 3 wide that was heading along the straight. He's been able to hold across. Simon Stoddart on the outside of Dave Stute as they try to hold the positions here at the moment. Out of all of that, Craig Patterson's not had the greatest of start, being collected in a few battles, but he's going to try around the outside of Malachi Backus, so he's going to try and get up the order with Malachi here. So now head into Graham Hill, and that was Backus trying to look at the inside of Giuseppe, very close to having some contact, but luckily keeping it clean between them. Christoph Miller is behind Matthew Paparel, coming through clearways. So we head now up towards the line, just 2 minutes down in this session. And across the line they go. And it's side by side behind. It is side by side. Magnus Stanbury on the outside line to Ross Garland. Garland's going to be able to hold the inside. Now Magnus Stanbury under attack from Anderson. Anderson's going to have that inside going up towards Druids. Magnus Stanbury really track extending. Comes back across way too aggressive. I don't know what he was thinking about going defensive out of Paddock Hill when he ran really wide. It's almost 4 wide coming through Druids out. The exit of Druids is still very wide, and people just aren't thinking in this race. They're just not caring where other cars are, and I'm going to say many bad driving skills are being shown here. None of them caring about the cars that are around them. I know these are very much like touring cars. You can rub against people, but this is terrible. More cars going around. This is really not what you want to see in a race. I'm not going to lie. It feels very much like a club event. Very much like an open lobby here. It just doesn't feel like the guys that were racing in race number 1. Some of them just after being involved in that first lap incident. What is that as well from Malachi Backus deciding to push Reggie Blaine Sr. almost off of the circuit? Do you know, I've got to stop watching them. I'm going to shoot myself. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to actually shoot myself if I continue watching the back of this field, because none of them are showing proper driving standards here. This is the battle for P number 3 though. Tuomas Lankinen on the rear of Vitor Sousa. We've got Patrick Fournier, only a second off of Reggie Blaine. If he can close up, we might have a battle for your lead. But we've got these 2 battles here, and I think I'm going to spend most of the race looking at these, because the driving standard shown by everyone else absolutely appalling right now. And I don't really like saying that, but absolutely terrible in this race as we get going. In the first 4 minutes, we've already featured about 400 crashes. Slightly side by side there, Jonas Hillert is trying to get past that. No, sorry, that was Peter Backus on the outside of Tobias Rona coming out of Druids there. Not able to quite make that move in this 3-car battle that is for P number 5. I'm yet to put up the current standings. Too much is damn happening. It's horrible. Peter Backus, though, is looking to get past Tobias Rona, but at the same time defending behind. Tuomas Lankinen getting a good exit, but not good enough from Clark Curve to make that move. So he now head up towards the timing line, and what will he do into Paddock Hill? For now, he's going to stay behind as we ride on board with Tuomas Lankinen looking towards Vitor Sousa in this battle for P number 3. Not going to be able to do anything into Druids at the moment. The exit of Druids keeping it nice and planted, looking like the car is on rails at the moment. Obviously very fresh tyres, the race has only just begun. Saying that though, Magnus Sternberg did spin the car in turn number 1, drifting the car just that little bit too much. And now coming through Surtees into McLaren, a little bit late on the brakes. It's going to mean that Lankinen slides the car, loses time to Sousa, and is not going to be able to make that overtake. This is on board with Patrick Fournier though. This is the gap at the moment between your race leader and second position. It is only about a second, which is nothing. Bearing in mind how much Reggie Blaine normally pulls away in his races, he can pull away by about 10 seconds in just 2-3 laps. Reggie Blaine is super quick, but he is really proving to be not quick enough for Patrick Fournier. Fournier is really showing quite some skill here, but not good enough. He gets slightly wide there through Graham Hill and onto Cooper Straight. He gets it back onto the track, but not the best line that he could have run. Luckily, just in front, Blaine slid slightly as well, but it's going to be over a second between the 2 of them now. Paul Fenwick is behind Matthew Paparel. Hopefully we will see an overtake in the background. There is not a clean move as someone's gone completely off the circuit trying to make an overtake. As Paul Fenwick going to try and get past Matthew Paparel. I know Paul Fenwick is a very clean driver indeed in the rookie races. He does have some minor scrapes and bruises, but he'll apologise over team speed as much as he can, and he'll give positions back if he reaches the golden rule. So Paul Fenwick behind Matthew Paparel looking to make that move. It's about half a second between them at the moment, and it's turn 1, but very wide into Paddock Hill Bend. By the look of it, Paul Fenwick not going to be able to do anything as of yet to get past Matthew Paparel. There very possibly could be an overtake at some point later on in the session. Daniel Chapp is going to try around the outside of Malachi Backus. Can't quite do it. This is a whole gaggle of cars. I really don't want to watch back here. There's already contact. We've only been watching the back of this battle for 3 seconds. But Malachi Backus getting a really good exit there. Someone disconnected. No, Malachi Backus for some reason is glitching out. I believe he's had a disconnect. Oh, that is a lovely camera view. Whoa! Malachi Backus disconnects, but that was hilarious to watch at the very end there. 3 wide, just in front. Almost a big slide once again from Magnus Sternberg. It's going to be Alvin Anderson on the inside of Dave Slew. Heading out of turn number 1. It looks like it's becoming a little bit cleaner now with the overtakes as Anderson backs off on that overtake for Stoop. Stoop's going to try and get past Turnbull on the inside. Can't quite make that at the moment through the exit of Druids. Through Druids there. He's going to be on the outside into Graham Hill. He's able to hold the line, no, able to hold the position ahead of Steve Legale, who's now getting involved in this. Craig Patterson also behind in this battle, and this is also Giuseppe behind. So we're on board with Giuseppe. He's got Craig Patterson just in front of him. Steve Legale just in front of that, and Ovin Anderson not too far in front of that. So this is the 4-car battle now for P15. Hopefully, it'll stay clean. I don't know why, but I think the tensions are boiling in the second race. Obviously, 2 races is all good. You assume they would learn, but at the same time, if you've had a little bit of a tussle in race number 1, you don't want to have the same tussle in race number 2. You want to get through, pass those drivers as quickly as you can, and unfortunately, it sometimes does lead to this. Going around the outside now is Giuseppe. I don't know if that's right. Giuseppe. I do apologise if I'm saying your name wrong. But he's going to look to get past Craig Patterson. Craig Patterson actually on the outside of Steve Legale. And now here comes Giuseppe on the outside of Steve. Not able to do it there. But these 4 cars very, very close indeed. Now heading up towards Surtees. Still very close. Now, at that battle for your race lead, it's increased to about 1.5 seconds. Still close enough for Fournier to be able to catch back up and make a move. Craig Patterson all over the rear of Ovin Anderson. In fact, he's already gone for an overtake along Brabham Straight. He's going to hold the inside line coming up to turn number 1. He's going to be able to do that. He's already through past Anderson, and he's going to go try for the switch back. Steve Legale now behind Anderson, just behind, but it's Patterson. Steve Legale behind Giuseppe, it looks like. No, they're in the same damn livery, it's confusing. Craig Patterson able to hold through the exit of Druids, so he is into P15. As up ahead, Paul Fenwick once again has scored up to Matthew Paparel, and hopefully we'll see an overtake going through here. Into Clark, what corner is that? Clearways now into Clark Curve. The corner name just completely blank here. Halfway through the race though, and the gap between the race leaders is only 2 seconds. It's taken 10 minutes to increase 2 seconds. It very possibly could start to close up once back markers come into play. Hopefully it won't come into play like race number 1, which took out Malachi Backus. He's not been having the greatest of weekends here, because he unfortunately was collected in a crash in the final corner with back markers when he was battling for P number 3. And in the second race, unfortunately, it looked like an internet connection issue for him, which glitched him through the grass and through the tyre barrier, and performed quite a hilarious 1 second of entertainment. As Paul Fenwick is dropped off once more from Matthew Pepperell, but Ross Garland is starting to get involved. In fact, that Ross Garland livery looks a lot like the Fiat livery from Race 07, one of the WTCC Fiat liveries. Definitely from a distance. I don't know which one it was, but it looks like one of them. It definitely looks like the design of one of those liveries anyway. It's kind of cool. Anyway, Giuseppe is still in this battle, chasing down Steve Legale and Anderson. Craig Patterson pulling away, but that is Daniel Trapp getting involved just behind now. So Patterson's pulled away one end, Trapp's gained in the other end, and Giuseppe going to move to the inside of Steve Legale into Druids. He's going to go for a later break. Will Legale be able to hold it? It doesn't look like it. Daniel Trapp's going to try and take advantage of that as well. Daniel Trapp is through past Steve Legale. Steve Legale going to have the inside into Graham Hill, but I bet he's going to back out. Yes, he does. He backs out. Steve Legale not too aggressive as both cars ahead of him. Of Anderson and Giuseppe going slightly wide. There's his car facing the wrong way. That's Tobias Rhoda. Off, he reverses it out of the way, waiting for the track to be clear. And that right there is what should have happened on lap number 1. We shouldn't have had that huge crash where the driver comes straight back across the circuit. You wait until the coast is clear. Perfect demonstration by Tobias Rhoda there. Quintus Giuseppe though is going to be on the inside line on Ovin Anderson as they come through Paddock Hill. Can't quite do it. Will be able to hold it up towards Druids. He is. He moves to the right hand side as he comes through Hawthorns here. Sorry, of Hellwood, sorry. And now Daniel Trapp's going to get involved already. He's going to try and squeeze his way up through, and he's on the outside line. He's going to be able to make that move, and he is through Ovin Anderson. Anderson's trying to get back at it, though he can't quite do it, but here comes Steve Legale going to try and get past Anderson. And Anderson just falling like a stone here. Patrick Fournier is down to 3rd. Don't know what happened there, but Patrick Fournier is down to 3rd. Vital Sasa up to second, and now that gap between the race leaders is 5 seconds. Patrick Fournier having some issue, maybe a back marker or maybe just a mistake happening. In chance of Backus and Hill on camera. Well, Backus and Hill on camera. It's about 1 second, so I'm not going to go have a little look at them at the moment. If it gets close, then I will. But the gaps between them remaining relatively the same. I assume when you sent that message, they would have been closer, but I'm sorry, there's a 2-minute delay due to the fact that you're getting this at 1080p 60 FPS. It means that there needs to be a little bit of delay, otherwise my computer and my internet cannot handle it. Dave Sloop all over the rear of Ross Garland, trying to gain up that position for P number 13, can't quite do it. Craig Patterson's been able to catch up to Magnus Sternbury though, and to Paul Fenwick, and to Matthew Paparazzi. So these 4 cars now rather close together, but in the background, Dave Stroop going to move to the inside of Ross Garland into Paddock Gilbend. He's got the inside. Ross Garland's trying his hardest to hold the outside line. It's actually worked, but it's not quite enough. Into Druids. Sloop's going to go defensive. Garland's too far back to really make a move there. Anyway, we're on board here. And coming through up towards Graham Hill. Half a second between them, and Garland's starting to drop off. The side-by-side action up in front. As there's a contact behind. There's contact. That's Craig Patterson off the circuit. There's also, I'm not too sure who else is off the circuit there, but someone else off the circuit. I believe that's a back marker of Martin Fayela off the circuit, but Craig Patterson has lost about 3 seconds with that. And he's lost a position to Dave Sloot as well. Paul Fenwick has lost a little bit of time off the rear of Matthew Paparel, but he's still trying his hardest to still get involved in that fight. Vittorio Sousa back behind Patrick Fournier now in that battle for P number 2 after Fournier dropped off the rear. 5.5 minutes to go in the session here today. As we are in the second race session of 2. Certainly not been as clean as race number 1. Only 1 retirement happened in that first race with 28 starters. With 27 starters from this race, we've already had 5 retirements, unfortunately. One of those being a disconnect from Malachi Backus. However, 4 other retirements is not always what you want to see. As I believe we've just seen another spin from Simon Stobart, a back marker trying to get out of the way. And he spins, and he remains on the outside of Graham Hill, really remaining on the outside of Graham Hill until it's nice and clear. You can see all the way from the exit of Druids. He waits until it's completely clear before he gets back onto the circuit. And again, another great showing of sportsmanship from Stobart, even though he lost about 30 seconds remaining on the outside of the track. Didn't collect anyone in and cause a massive incident. Coming through turn number 1 then Paddock Hill, we've still got Vital Sazzo on the rear. Patrick Fournier maybe looking to get a move back through. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do that. Craig Patterson has caught back up to Dave Sloot after the contact that he had with Martin Fayela. He's going to go for the inside into Clark Curve now. But it looks like Dave Sloot's got a better run onto Brabham Straight as they come up towards the timing line. It's going to be about 2/10 between them. They cross that timing line. 4 minutes to go. It's side by side behind, and it's Daniel Trapp on the inside of Quintus Giuseppe here. Daniel Trapp's going to just squeeze out Giuseppe onto the gravel. That tiny little bit of contact knocked Giuseppe down and out of contention to be able to make a move around the outside into Druids. Daniel Trapp up to speed number 14. Not the cleanest of overtakes, but only a tiny slight little tap. And I think that was as clean as I think it was ever going to be in this race. Daniel Trapp up to P14. He's still got Giuseppe to get back through, but he's going to have to go over the inside of Surtees. And Ross Garland has to run on the outside. He's going to hold the inside of McLaren and into clearways. Daniel Trapp tries to switch back. He can't quite do it, and here comes Giuseppe to get up the inside. Daniel Trapp didn't quite realise he was there. Still didn't realise he was there. Daniel Trapp continuing to turn right. Giuseppe comes onto the brakes, even though Daniel Trapp, I think that was really his fault. Not realising that Giuseppe was there, continued to turn right, and really, I think he spun himself. Giuseppe had no left to go on the inside line, otherwise he would have been onto the grass and into the pit lane. Unfortunately, it caused them both to stop, and I believe that is a retirement as well from Giuseppe, who decides enough is enough. In this race, I'm not going to lie, it's not been the best. It's probably been one of the worst RaceRoom races that I've come across. I know it's pretty much a touring car race, but I'm going to say not the greatest driving standards shown here today. Please watch race number 1 and ignore this race if you want to see how you should be racing online with us, as that's a car completely off the circuit. Doing great job to follow the blue flags there. Magnus Sternberg deciding that the best way to get out of people's way is to get off of the circuit itself, and he decided that going to China and back was the best way to move out of the way. In fact, it's kept it all clean up at front in that battle for P number 2, so thank you very much. I need to sneeze, so I'm quickly going to mute my mic. Nope, I can't sneeze. Don't you hate it when it does that? 2 minutes to go in the session, and Craig Patterson is still right on the rear. Again, he's actually been able to make that move past Dave Sloop. In fact, he's been able to catch back up to this rear of Paul Fenwick and Matthew Pepperell, which is where he was before he had that contact with Martin Fayola. Coming through clearways into Clark Curve. He's going to be a better exit than Paul Fenwick. Paul Fenwick gets a compromised exit, a little bit of a slide, and through goes Craig Patterson, up along Bradman Straight now. It looks like he's going to have that position confirmed already across the timing line. He'll just have to catch up to Matthew Pepperell. He's able to hold the inside line. Yes, he is to Paul Fenwick as they now come across into turn number 2. Craig Patterson holds the outside line but turns into the racing line, so nothing that Paul Fenwick could really do in that battle. And now Fenwick under attack from Dave Sloot as well. Fenwick had only just caught back up to Pepperell. Was about to get involved with a battle with Pepperell once more, but couldn't quite do it. Patterson is still trying to get past Matthew Pepperell, in fact, in that battle at the moment. 2 battles very close together on circuit. The 4 cars very close to coming through McLaren. Patterson moves to the outside of Pepperell, gets an amazing run through clearways. And a big slide from Pepperell, a snap of oversteer, and it's caught Paul Fenwick out. Paul Fenwick off the circuit. He's wobbling the car, he's been able to recover, but that almost collected Paul Fenwick. Luckily it didn't, but it definitely caught him out. And both of the drivers even got a lot of time, but that is going to be Matthew Pepperell down a lot of positions. Just a snap of oversteer and corrected too much through Clark Curve. 15 seconds to go in the session. Reggie Blaine has just gone on to the final lap of this race. 10 seconds to go. This is the final lap. Drivers moving out of the way, trying to stay out of the way as much as possible there as we watch on board with Reggie Blaine for the final lap of this race. Reggie Blaine was obviously behind, started on pole, was able to hold on to Patrick Fournier. Fournier, one mistake, lost him off, and he just wasn't able to fight with Reggie Blaine. But 1 win to Patrick Fournier, 1 win to Reggie Blaine, same with the pole positions as well, which is not normally what we see in the event. We normally see Reggie Blaine dominating, or at least one driver dominating all. So it's nice to see 2 different ones, even if this race was crash infested. Reggie Blaine going to come across the line though to take the victory here today. And Patrick Fournier going to come across the line with a busy track just coming up towards the line there in the 2nd position, with Virtual Salsa not too far behind in 3rd. Christoph Muller though not going to be able to get past Peter Backus for P number 6 in that battle. Will Dave Sloop be able to get past Craig Patterson? It's too far back, and you see Dave Sloop really exploiting track limits almost, trying to move up position, trying to get close to Craig Patterson, but nothing he can do as the rest of the drivers come up towards the line. Now this is the race winner. Absolutely fantastic drive from Reggie Blaine. From start to finish, he led the race. Was challenged very slightly from Patrick Fournier, but nothing too major. Reggie Blaine was able to take a nice, controlled and easy victory, with a number of retirements happening in that race, which is a real shame, including Matthew Pepperell, who retired on the final lap of the race. This is your race result then. Reggie Blaine finished in 1st position. Patrick Fournier in 2nd. Vittorio Sisa in 3rd. Tuomas Lankinen in 4th. 5th was Hillett. Forsberg in 6th. Backus 7th. Muller in 8th. Parginos and Patterson rounding out your top 10. Then we had Sloop, Garland, Fenwick, Steve Legale, Anderson, Euler, Pepperell, Rona, Chapman, Fayola rounding out your top 20. Sternberg and Stubber 21st and 22nd. Giuseppe retiring near the end then after his incident. Reggie Blaine in 24th, Bruce in 25th, Backus in 26th, 27th to Kenwood, and 28th from Roger Van Rood. Of course, we also had that retirement right near the end as well from Matthew Pepperell, who finished in 17th in the end. But because he retired on the final lap and drivers finished behind him, he was technically finished, classed as finishing, even though he did retire. Not the greatest of second races. Probably one of the worst races I've ever seen. I'm very sorry to announce that to you. But definitely one of the worst. And I've seen some very bad races in my time of racing. But that was probably one of the worst. And definitely one of the worst to commentate. Crashing everywhere. A lot of fun for you guys. A lot of action happening, of course. But not the cleanest of running. And not the greatest for the drivers racing with us. But overall, I hope you have enjoyed. Not the greatest, but still a lot of fun indeed. Some very close battles. Some really good battles, in fact. Definitely in race number 1. And I hope you do watch some of our videos that are going to be coming out onto the channel. Be sure to go check out that Formula 1 2016 video. And or hype yourself up for F1 2017 being released in a few weeks' time. And also, be sure to check out all the other videos that will be coming onto the channel over the coming months. So, for me, that's goodbye. I hope to see you Sunday, but it's not confirmed. Like I said, I'm away this weekend, but hopefully we'll be back for RaceRoom Sunday. But it'll be a lot cleaner than race number 2. As clean as race number 1, in fact. Thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.